Oh boy. Is that good? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let me lean back a little bit. All right, here we are. All right, let's get on these charts real quick, see what's going on. Yo. Stupidness, man. Stupid. All right, let me get my shit together, man. Come on. Stupidness. All right, here we go. What's up, Jay Carly? What up, Joshua? I'm laughing at you. Well, I'm laughing at the whole dialogue, actually. That's funny. She said I lie a lot. That's funny. Yeah, that's why I use that word, because I know people don't know how to spell it. They had to Google that to find out what I was even talking about. Yep. What's up, Stacy? What's up, Daniel? Exactly. Get out of Joshua. Get out of. She said tapping out the market, not the nuggets. I can't be mad at that. What's happening, Steve? Right, touche, exactly. Yeah, that was a good comeback. Pretty good, Jay Carly, pretty good. Man, I'm in such a relaxed mode right now because, well, first of all, it's 50 degrees. Like yesterday, I had a t-shirt on. Today, I'm back to the bubble vest. It's ridiculous. That's why I said that too yesterday when I was I did an IG stories and I was talking about that. I was like, I got a t-shirt on today, but we'll see what goes on. Sure enough, next day, it's raining. Like if it's raining, it's like 48 degrees. Like, come on, man. Yep, I'll be playing with this weather. Be fully prepared. That's one of the worst things is having a cold, like in the summertime. You ever have a cold in the summer? Stupid. It's like the dumbest thing ever. You got a cold and it's mad hot outside. But it can happen. You mess around and play with this weather. All right, let me get this over here real quick. So the market it's not really doing that much right now. Just really watching it, keeping an eye on it more than anything. It ain't really doing shit right now, to be honest. All right, so there we go. All right. Yeah, right now the movement is stretchy, if that's even the word. Stretchy, is that a word? I just made that a word. That's how it looks to me. If I had to think of the first thing that came into my head when I look at it, it just looks stretchy. All right. Yeah, stretchy. J. Carey said it's a word today. Oh, you like that, Daniel? Yeah, I like it too. Stretchy. I don't know where this stuff comes from. It just comes out of thin air. At this very moment, it looks like the environment is trying to kick in. I can't say kick back in because I didn't really see today any instance where the environment was, the way that we like it to be. And I mean, like, overall, I didn't see that today. I just saw a bunch of stuff going on, like a bunch of different types of movements and just inconsistency for the most part. So needless to say, nobody did anything because there ain't nothing to do. But this is the first time I'm actually seeing the environment looking like it wants to kick in. So we'll see what it leads to. Benito, what up? Dan says somewhere between jerky and almastish. I don't know what that means. Let me look that up. Almastish? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Or are you saying almost something? Nah, I don't know. Or almostish. Oh. I'm just realizing that. I feel stupid right now. Almostish. Because you know what threw me off is that it was a one word. Like, it didn't have the hyphen. So I was completely thrown off. I was like, oh, Daniel knows some good dictionary word. Some new word. Let me look it up. He just said you're making stuff up. True. Very true. Yeah, that was a blind moment right there, definitely. Don't cry in the car. I went and watched that the other day. I had to watch it. Because we was talking about something, and I think that we said that. So he gonna cry in the car. Silliness. Doing one today, huh? I told you today's hibachi day. I don't know why I had that craving since, what's today, Friday? I had a craving for that since like Wednesday. And I guess my wife did too, because as soon as I said it, she said, "What?" and started dancing. Like, who does that? Who dances because of food? Will electric slide for food? That's how you know when somebody's greedy, when they start dancing when you mention food, some good food. Stacy said, huh? How did I know that? I knew that. And don't let it be some real good food. Oh my goodness. Jovial. Yes, definitely positive vibes all day. It never goes anywhere. Stacy said to rub her feet together too. Like a little kid in the candy store. Yep. And we're making our kids the same damn way. I was having a conversation the other day with my son, and he's telling me that he wants to start cooking. I said, all right, well, get your ass in the kitchen and start cooking. I'm like, hey, you don't have to wait for permission. You tell me what to get from the store, and you use your recipes and get to work, and we'll see what you do. But that was interesting that he mentioned that, because if he's saying that, I know that that's something that he really wants to do. So he's always mentioned like being a chef, and I guess he has this image in his head of what a chef is. So he always wants to picture himself in France for some reason, and it's probably because there's a like a little kid kind of movie. It's called Ratatouille. Y'all know what I'm talking about if y'all saw it. The dude was a chef, but the real chef was a little rat. This is like a cartoon movie, but it was based in Paris. So there's just an association between Paris and France and being a chef in his head. So I don't know why he has that in his head, but he always pictures and visualizes himself like that with the chef hat, and he always says he wants to go to France to cook. I'm like, you don't got to go to France to cook. You can cook right here. You can cook right here, bro. Yeah, but I'm going to encourage him to do that, though, definitely. We need somebody cooking. Just when you think it's going to start setting up, nope. Starts doing a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, see, still got that. It's like a pause and then a spurt. And then a move back. Ooh, look at that. If you spend enough time on the charts, like looking at the way that the price moves, you literally can catch the rhythm of it, and you're like, wow. It's funny because people feel like if you can catch the rhythm of the way that it moves, that you can trade it. Nah. When I see how it moves, sometimes I don't want to trade. I wouldn't want to trade that. That's why in and instances where I was doing like different challenges, like when I was doing the whole ATM thing, and I knew that the market was doing that type of stuff. I wanted to show what the market looked like so people could see how crazy the market be looking and how crazy the activity is in the middle of you trying to trade and make money. In the midst of that, it's like you got to just like really look at that and say to yourself, do I really want to be trading when the market is looking like that? Nope, I don't. Yep. She said taking to Paris, I'll hook him up with my cousin. Your cousin is a chef? Oh, wow. Okay. You said shop. Is it like a what, like a bakery or a restaurant? That's interesting too, because there's a I noticed that about Paris in particular. Bakery, very nice. And I was just about to talk about that. When I had traveled to Paris and to a other there were a few European cities that I had went to, and this was when I was real young. I told this story before. When I worked for a company, they had sent me over to Europe for like 9 days. So Paris was the second place we went to. We flew into London, and then we took the high speed train from London to Paris. So when we got to Paris, they got shops everywhere. Like they got a lot of bakery shops, bakeries. They got like little eateries, just places where you can eat. And they got all different types of varieties of food. Like the there was a place, they make this thing, they call it baguettes or baguette. It's like a little pancake with sugar on it. And there was a shop, that's all they sold was the baguettes. So, you ordered it, whatever, and they had little seating, and it was always, anytime you went in somewhere, the lighting was always dim. Like at least when I was there. Unless it was a bakery. If it was a bakery, it would be bright in there because they want you to see everything in the glass. But they had all type of stuff in like the bakeries and the eateries that we saw on the street. Like they had meat markets on the street. And the meat market is crazy because you see like the animals hanging up. They have like a string that's going across, and it's two poles, and they have the animals hanging up on the string in the street. So like if you say that you want, like, I'm trying to think of what kind of meat. I mean, they had every kind of meat you could think of. They had raccoons, they had squirrels, they had different birds. Like they had real animals, but it looked like a real animal. Like it didn't look like the meat. It was the animal with the hair and everything on it. Yeah, ducks, all of that. They had all type of stuff. And I think that when we went, it was like some kind of festival. It was like a meat market festival or something, because it was everywhere. Like everywhere that you went in the street, they had meat. And that just was very interesting. It was interesting. And the whole time I was over there, I didn't eat any meat. Like, just, I don't know. I just didn't eat any meat at all. Like, even if you went to McDonald's, I think the meat would have been different. And someone had told me that before I went there. So when I went there, I didn't eat meat at all. But and to be honest, I didn't really, I didn't get the full experience really of being there because we were moving around so much. So we only spent like a day there, and then we had to leave, and then we came back on the way back for another day. So we got 2 days in, but one day was like in the daytime, and then when we came back, it was kind of like at nighttime. So it was interesting being that young and experiencing that, because I would imagine that I didn't get to experience nearly anything really, that you could experience while being there, because we didn't have enough time to do anything. But yeah, that was very strange to me, the meat market. The last night before we left, we found, like, we literally were like, it was me and there was another guy. He was kind of on the same boat with me. Like, we wasn't eating meat at all. We didn't like the fondue. Like, they had places that they were taking us where, like, it was hosted, like a hosted dinner. And one of the hosted dinners, man, we ended up like walking out and leaving, because they brought the fondue out, and oh my gosh, the smell of that fondue like blew up the whole area where we were sitting. And I was like, yo, I can't stay in here. Cause the fondue cheese smells like, that's something you got to just get used to. It smells like, to me, it smelled terrible. It smelled like, I'm trying to think of something that I could compare it to. I had an experience when I was young. I had a cousin, and my cousin, yo, this dude's feet used to smell terrible. Like no matter what he did, his feet just was always stink. That's what that fondue cheese reminded me of. Like, just horrible smelling feet. And mind you, we're like in a room, so we're secluded. We're not in open space. So they brought the fondue in there, and it was just stuck in the room with us. And I was like, I can't stay in here. I gotta leave. So we left. Like, I literally left the dinner. I took a sip of wine and I broke out. It was just too much. But yeah, so that was interesting. Um, Stacy said they serve beer at McDonald's. Yes, they do. She said the duck liver. Nah, I didn't do anything with any meat at all. So I can't even tell you like what nothing tasted like or nothing. And on the last night, we like had lucked up, because we were walking around, and there was a guy. He was an Italian, real Italian dude. And when I saw the place, I was like, yo, I think that might be like a pizza shop. That's as close as we get into a pizza shop. Sure enough, we go inside, and the guy has pizza, authentic Italian pizza. Like real pizza from Italy is thin. The crust is very thin, and because he was in France, he was using cheeses from France. So, if you wanted cheese, he would put the cheese on it. But on the traditional Italian pizza, there's no cheese. It's the bread, and it's like tomato, oregano, and different seasonings that they put on it. And it's a very thin crust pizza. Like, the dough is very thin, but it's delicious. So he had some cheese, and I think it was like Monterey Jack, and did he have mozzarella? No, he did have mozzarella. So it was Monterey Jack, mozzarella, and another cheese. It might have been pepper jack on a pizza. Yo, that pizza was delicious. And I was so happy that we found that, because really the whole time that we were there, we didn't really eat like anything. Like, even when we went to Switzerland, we were eating, they had the little Swiss cheese. It was like a block. It looked like a little mini sized butter stick, like a rectangular shape. And they just had this cheese, Swiss cheese, all day. And everywhere you went, they had that same Swiss cheese. It was like a brand that used to make the Swiss cheese if you were in Switzerland. I was eating cheese and croissants, like cheese and bread, rolls, no meat. When we were in Was that Amsterdam? Yeah, it was Amsterdam. We were in the Netherlands. We went to Amsterdam and we went to, um, I think it's called Stranraer. Yeah, Amsterdam, Stranraer. We went to, there was another town in the Netherlands that was close to Amsterdam. I forgot what the name of it was, but it's popular. But everywhere that we went, and we were taking the trains. Everywhere we went, all we was eating was cheese and bread. Like, cause I didn't trust nothing else. I wasn't messing with no meat. They had some kind of meat. I don't know what kind of sausage it was, but like it just was weird combinations of food. Like every time that we went to a hosted dinner, the combination of the food was weird. I'm like I forgot where we was at specifically, but they brought out, it was sauerkraut and a piece of sausage. And I'm looking, I'm like, this is sauerkraut. Like they called it something else. I'm like, yo, this is sauerkraut. This same shit we be putting on a hot dog and back in New York. This is what we put on a hot dog. So they had the sauerkraut and they had like a piece of sausage. And I didn't know I couldn't identify what the sausage was. So like I said, I ain't mess with none of the meat. So what did we eat? Once again, piece of cheese and some bread again with wine. We had mad wine. And that's another thing too over in different parts of Europe. The water, like you can't drink their water. You cannot drink tap water. So when you go to a restaurant, when you go out, they have bottled water. Period. Like you can't be like, can you bring me a cup of ice water? Like they don't do that. You got to buy a bottle of water, and that's your water. There's no drinking none of the tap or nothing over there at all. It's crazy. But anyway, once again, I don't even know how I started talking about any of that. What's up, Campbell? What's up, Riley? Yeah, no, they definitely do not believe in ice. Nope. No, like just regular stuff that I would be asking for, they would be like, no. They'd be like, no. Like, yo, come on, man. And I'm like, well, what do you got? Then, that was another thing too. The breakfast. Anytime they had a meat, the meat was like raw. Like it was kind of like not cooked. They had bacon in the morning. And of course, what they have with the bacon? Rolls, more rolls, and cheese and wine. And this was literally everywhere that we went. So I'm like, I can't wait to get back home. just so I could get like a burger, like a regular burger. So it was like, it was that type of experience too. And I know that it had to do with the fact that I was so young as well. So I wasn't really willing to try new foods. Like I didn't feel comfortable enough to try food that was new to me. Like all of the meats and that stink ass cheese. Like, no, I wasn't with it. Like some people love fondue. Yo, when I smelled it, I said, are you eating that? I'm like, I can't eat that, man. I cannot eat that. And it's all, it's like it's in a pot. And what they do is they take it and it's liquid-ish. It's liquidish. It's not liquid cheese, but it's like melted cheese. So you're supposed to take it and then put it on like the bread and then eat it like that. I was like, I can't even take the smell. I'm not eating that. I ain't eat it. I was like, just give me the Swiss cheese bar, please. I'll take that and a piece of bread. And some water. Yep, it was interesting. But yeah, but the bakeries, they had some good stuff though. They actually had very good like pastries and whatnot at the bakery. All of the pastries and like the baguettes and all of that was good. All of that stuff was real good. The bread was real fresh. French bread is good. French bread is really good. It has a very good like flavor and the texture of it. The outside of the bread is hard, but you know, it's like that. It's like good hoagie bread, kind of. It was like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we filled up on bread, cheese, and wine everywhere that we went, and then we ended up going to one place, and I told the dude I was from New York, and it's like where we were at. We were in the hotel lobby. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the lobby of the hotel where we were staying. So I told the dude at the bar that I was from New York. He was speaking slight English, like he understood what I was saying. I didn't understand nothing he was saying. And then we had a lady with us that spoke French, so she was kind of like interpreting back and forth. She was actually one of my coworkers at the time that came with us. So she's interpreting, and she was like, "Yeah." So he says, she's telling me what he says. So he was like, "Yeah, oh, you from New York? Oh, the Yankees." Like that's all their whole association with New York was the Yankees, and they love the Yankees. So when I told him that, like he started just getting excited and hyped up, like he must have thought that I was on the Yankees or something. It was so funny because it's like that's just something interesting that goes on when you travel. It's like wherever you go, wherever you from, you represent where you from, but you represent the whole place. So if you say you from New York, you represent all of New York now. Like when everyone is talking to you, they're asking you everything. Like you supposed to know everything. You're like, well, no, I don't even live over there in that part. Like I don't know. Like, oh, what were they asking me about? Oh, the Statue of Liberty and the Yankees and this. They just was asking me mad New York questions. I'm like, I'm from New York and ain't never been half the places y'all asking me about. I was like, I never even been to Ellis Island yet. I ain't go. We from New York. We don't care. So it's interesting when you travel, like how people perceive you. You know what I'm saying? Like they can they can pick up on your accent and try to figure out like where you from, but they really just put you in a box. If you say you're from New York, you just from wherever they think, whatever their perception is in their head of where what New York means. That's what it means to them now. But anyway, yeah. So he goes and makes an announcement in the bar. So now everybody's crowding around and they coming over and they're like conversing and talking like in our area now because it's like New York, the Yankees, the Yankees. Mind you, they watching baseball, they're watching the Yankees, and they're celebrating like I don't know why they love the Yankees. I'm like, why do y'all love the Yankees out of all of the teams? Like, and they was like, cause it's New York. Like, okay. But needless to say, we didn't pay for no drinks or nothing. They bought the like the damn bar out. So we was just down there living the dream in Paris. Oh man. And once again, I have no idea how I even started talking about that. I think this all came from me talking about my son cooking, right? It's like, how'd you get to that from talking about your son cooking? I don't know. It just went there. This 3161. Nah, it ain't. Yeah, it's still too much going on. Market was slowing down. Now it's starting to accelerate again. Just too much going on right now. Malone says, same situation if you're from upstate. True. That's true. Yep. Yeah, and it kind of it's like that too. Like in general, I think because it's just it's a natural thing for people to automatically like assume that because they might have heard one thing about one place in particular, they are going to associate the one thing that they heard about that one place with the place. You know, it's kind of like how, you know, if I tell people, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, they're like, oh, you from Brooklyn? Oh man, really? And it's like because they associate Brooklyn with being, you know, tough and aggressive and like you got to be rough to live in Brooklyn. I'm like, nah, man, people live in Brooklyn. That's regular. Like everywhere in Brooklyn is, you know, you don't got to hold your purse. So it's like, you know, it's that type of thing. So it's a natural thing that I guess if someone hears about an experience, yes, exactly. It's like, no, I do not know Jay-Z. Why would I know Jay-Z? I had never met the man. But you supposed to know Jay-Z, you supposed to know Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like, you live near Jay-Z? No, Jay-Z don't even live in Brooklyn. No, I don't. Oh, did you go to watch the game? No, I don't. I don't even go. I don't like basketball. No. But that's how it is. Yep, that is how it is. Yeah, very interesting. It's all psychology, right? But this week overall was actually very good. This was a very good week. We had a couple of occasions this week where we had our permission slip and you know, some good trades popped off. So do they ever assume you say forget about it? That's funny. But but it is true about like vernacular. Vernacular is very true. That's not stereotypical. I can hear someone right now talk that's from New York, and I could tell you what borough they from. Like somebody from Harlem does not sound like somebody from Brooklyn. Brooklyn dudes don't sound like dudes from Queens or the Bronx. It's a different type of talk. Even though we all sound the same. Like if you from out of town and you hear somebody talk, you know that we from New York. You don't know which part we from though. But you can recognize the New York accent, definitely. And I guess we do the same thing. If I hear someone talk that's not from New York, and it's not as bad as it was when I was younger. When I was young, everybody was country to me. Like if you didn't sound like a New Yorker to me, my ear automatically just thought you was country, like you was from down south somewhere. And it was interesting the first time that I had an experience with a guy that he moved to New York from Cali, and he was in my class, and he used to talk all the time. And I used to be like, yo, we from down south? He's like, nah, man, I'm from LA. And I was like, LA? And that's when I realized for the first time, like, that people from like Los Angeles, different parts of California, even like people like from where did I go one time? People in Vegas. You can hear the differences between how they speak, but it still to me sounds like a country accent because I don't know how to identify anything other than country if it's not New York. You see what I'm saying? Like if it doesn't sound like a New York accent to me, it sounds foreign. So it's just country to me. like like it's hard to describe, but I couldn't tell the difference between how he spoke and how like one of my cousins from down south would talk. But now that I'm older, I can hear the differences. I definitely hear the differences. Like you can hear the differences between like somebody from like the Carolinas. You know, like my family that's from the Carolinas, they don't talk like people from Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Like or like the Midwest. It's a different type of accent. It's a different type of vernacular that they use, even the way that they pause. Like my cousins down south, some of them talk real slow. And then you got the ones that talk real fast. And you be like, damn, I heard you, but I don't know what you just said. Cause they talk so fast. And then you got the ones that talk mad slow. It's interesting. It is very interesting when you just actually just listen to people and listen to how they talk and stuff. It's crazy. This market got way too much speed in it. Like it's doing way too much right now. Way too much, my friend. What's up, Rhonda? I think that's what we might do this weekend. Might go to the movies. Isn't there a Marvel movie out? I think there's another Marvel movie out, ain't it? I ain't see the last one though. I don't even know if I should see this one. Oh, that's what it's called, Endgame. What was the one before Endgame? Was it Avengers? Is that what the last one was called? The one with Thanos. Infinity War. Okay. So where does Avengers come from? Are they all Avengers in just a different movie that's under that umbrella? Is that how that works? Okay, got you. So it was Avengers Infinity War and this one is Avengers the Endgame? Market trying to slow down. It's probably gonna slow down here and then who knows what it'll do going into the next one. Okay, cool. I heard in the last one, the no, I didn't see it. Nope, I haven't seen anything. The only one I saw was Black Panther. But Black Panther made me want to see this stuff now. Now I want to see Infinity War and whatever the new one is. But I heard in Infinity War that like They were like the Black Panther got killed or something crazy. I was like, what? Like that made me upset. I was like, well, how does any of the characters get killed? What does that even mean? But then I'm thinking about comic books because that's where this comes from, right? So like in comic books, they can always bring people back. So I would imagine that that's what goes on. Like if one of the characters dies off, they can bring him back. Quando is he's asking is everyone in this one, right? Because I think Iron Man is in this one, right? Was he in the last one too? You're right. That's kind of what I want to do. Yeah, because I don't want to it kind of probably will mess me up if I watch this one first and then go back and try to watch the first one. Okay, they're gonna do a Black Panther too. But then okay, so that all right. I would imagine then they would have to build up to that because if the Black Panther got killed in the last one, then he got to come back if there's gonna be another Black Panther movie, right? Because they do it in order, or do they just skip around and do it however they feel like doing it? I don't even know. I'm just asking because I kind of thought that they was doing it like the way that the comic book would be set up, like a series. They do it in order. Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know. So at least whatever's out now, that's gonna be what's going on now. Like like you're following along when you watch the new movie that comes out. Okay, cool. I know you're like, what the Mark? What is he talking about? Mark don't watch shit. I don't, man. I'm trying to remember how I even ended up watching Black Panther. I think I just watched Black Panther because everybody watched Black Panther. Like, it was such a big deal. We just went. Everybody got all dressed up. It was at the movie theater acting crazy. Some Marvel movies lead into Infinity War, and then some Marvel movies tell their story, how they originated. Got you. Okay. So the Black Panther movie that we saw, the first one, told the story. Because it kind of gave the history of how he became the Black Panther, like how his father was the Panther first, and then when the father died, then he had to fight to become the king and all of that. Okay. All right, so that makes sense. And I guess they do that because then when they want to make any other movie that character's in, they kind of can do it however they want to because you know the background, like the the origin of where the character came from because you saw that already. Civil War. Got you. Like, all right. So was there ever a movie before the Black Panther movie with the Black Panther in it? That's my question. Right. That's what I'm asking. Okay, got you. Got you. So Civil War led into Black Panther. But Civil War didn't have the Black Panther that we saw in it. That the same dude. It wasn't the same one, right? You're gonna have me watching all of this stuff now. I didn't see nothing. So I got to go back and watch everything. All right, cool. All right. Oh, it is the same person. Okay. So Civil War was out before the Black Panther movie? And also, was it the same actor in that movie? So why was the Black Panther movie in particular so much bigger than that movie was? Like, why was it so much of a so? Why was it so big of a deal if he was already in that other movie first? You know what I'm saying? See, Daniel was he on my wavelength. That's what like I'm just curious why they'd even do it like that. Okay. Joshua said because of all the blackness. But yeah, like what Daniel was saying, that makes more sense to me. It's like here's the first one. Here's part two, part three, and you just go on. You like I was totally confused when they made a big deal out of Black Panther. I thought it was a new character. I didn't know that like there was a pre-existing history of this character. I thought it was some new character that they created, and that's why they was making such a big deal out of it. Yeah, see, I feel old now, Daniel. Me too. Okay, so in Civil War, the father was killed, but so Civil War was the prequel to the Black Panther movie. It would have to be because in the Black Panther movie, they talked about the father and the uncle, right? The father killed the uncle. The father killed the uncle to protect his main man, the dude that Forrest Whitaker played, right? And nobody knew that other than him. Only Forrest Whitaker knew that. His character knew that. The son didn't know that until later. When he told him that, it was when he was dying, right? And the uncle's son was the dude that the Black Panther had to fight in the movie. Michael B. Jordan, his character. And you got to forgive me. I'm just putting it together now in my head so I understand. So in Civil War talks about the father's experience more so. Probably like kind of led up to him getting killed in that movie. And then the son being introduced into the movie. Okay. Got you. Right, because when Black Panther starts off, it's like he's the Black Panther now. Like I'm the Black Panther, I'm the king. But it didn't really go into how he became king. It just touched on it. All right. So Civil War explains the whole thing and how he ended up becoming king, how his father got killed and all that. All right. Now that makes sense. It's actually very good marketing. The way they put all of that stuff together is an excellent way to market. Because the way that they can position things, it will never stop. They will always have movies to put out. And they can go to whatever movie that they want to next. They go wherever they want to. Very good marketing. Very good. Yes, excellent marketing. Yep. Yeah, I enjoy studying that type of shit because it applies like to like what we do with the market. Like, I don't know, everything I look at, the way people are, like what people do in their behavior, for some reason it's almost like, you know how in the Matrix he just sees numbers, like the green numbers bits. That's kind of what it's like for me. I apply everything that I see that goes on in the world and just with the way that people are, and then I relate that to what the market does and vice versa. And like when I look at the market, it reminds me of something that people do, which helps me to understand what's likely to happen. That's like it's very crazy. It's very crazy that go. I mean that's how long I've been studying it for. That it just it's like a seamless thing. It's crazy. The 240. Yeah, I just glanced at the 240 and was gonna ask about it. I'm gonna take a look at that right now. Are you posting a video? Sure are. He got the live up. Joshua's ill. I don't understand why sometimes this thing opened and then sometimes it don't. Like, what is that? Just open up so I can. I don't understand. Only Forrest Whitaker knew that. His character knew that. The son didn't know that until later when he told him that. He listened to me talking shit. That is hilarious. All right. What's up, Abdul? Jelani said Black Panther has a big storyline, so they have to do several movies, according to the comic. Okay. All the stories lead to something big that creates history and lots of money. Pretty much. That sums it up, right, Peleus? This one right here is set up, but look at what it's doing. That is slaptastic. The initial setup was there, and then the behavior after, woo, snatched your whole Christmas from you. That's why I love what we do, man. I love it. I love it, man. Skilled in the art of not losing. Like, you ain't gonna get me. Yeah, that was good. That was good just now. Are you guys finding it easier now to you finding it easier to not get caught up in like the anxiety of wanting to take a trade, or are you still like battling with that? I know for some people that's a long struggle. The anxiety is a long struggle. Abdul said, came across a link in regards to hypnotic rhythm. Very interesting. Yeah, it sounds crazy. Yes, it did, and we saw that. And as soon as I saw that, I knew what it was. I'm like, yep, it's set up. But look at what time it is. Slap time. Yep, exactly. It went out, came back in. Hypnotic rhythm sounds like Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil book. Napoleon Hill was an ill writer. He was ill. He did Think and Grow Rich, right? Oh man. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, see, okay. Yeah, I see that too. Joshua says, I still experience it, but it's way lower because my focus is strictly MRMH and analyzing my recordings. Right, right. Yeah, it's interesting that you put it like that because one of the ways that you will find the unlearning of certain things happens, it happens the same way that learning happens. And you kind of wouldn't think that. You know, you kind of think like breaking of a habit or unlearning something is a different is a different process than learning, when in fact it's the same. Like it's identical. There is a gradual process like that takes place. Like when you're learning something new. When you're in the learning process of new information, do you ever just get it like the first time that it's introduced to you? Never. Even the smartest person, take the person with the highest IQ ever. Even they don't get it all the first time. They might get it at a higher degree than you, and it looks like, oh, they got it already. But they still don't have it. They just have more of it than you do because of the way that their brain is wired. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's letting in the information fast at a faster pace than you are. So that's how you can see the difference between individuals. But the learning process is the same thing as unlearning. So it's kind of like if you know that you want to stop doing something, The fastest way to stop doing something is to introduce the nemesis of it. Like, what is at the extreme opposite end of what you're trying to stop doing? Whatever that is, you want to introduce that, and you want to suffocate the existence of what's there with the opposite idea. And when you do that, it's like times two. Instead of just doing one part, you're doing two parts, because it's one thing to be introduced to new information and still have information that you're retaining that is not valuable to you. Like, in other words, you don't want it to be there, but it is there because you put it there because you learned this. Like, this is some bullshit that you learned right here, but you can't get rid of it yet because there's nothing that you're introducing that's powerful enough to suffocate the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you introduce, like if you have bullshit here and then you have non-bullshit here, this can suffocate this if it's introduced enough. So the same way that this has energy and it has clout because you put it there, the same process that you use to put this here, you can use to put this there, but this is the opposite of this. So it's like it's magnified. It's not like it's one thing moving. It's like it's two, it's double. It's double because this is the opposite of this. It's like the antivirus for this. And that's how you suffocate things that you want to get rid of. And eventually you don't know when they drop off. It just be gone one day. Like one day you just stop. You don't even know when you stop doing it. Because you suffocate it with something that is the opposite of it. Like, that's one thing that I've learned to do to accelerate your learning process and to decrease the learning curve. It's like the way that you do that is you got to do the opposite of what you're trying to get rid of. If you're trying to stop being anxious, you got to introduce like just being cool and calm all the time. And that shit is hard to do. When you get anxiety, when you look at something, the anxiety is something that is almost like you can't even stop it. Like, you just be anxious as hell. So it's like the anxiety leads to an action that could be detrimental to you. So first you curb the action and you begin to learn how to stop allowing the anxiety to turn into action. Like that's the first thing that you got to stop doing. Stop acting off of the anxiety. When you stop acting off the anxiety, now every time that you get anxiety, because you're introducing something that is equally or more powerful than the anxiety that you feel, now because you're suffocating your anxiety, the anxiety is there, but it begins to become less and less and less important now. So it's a gradual regression. Just like what you're introducing is a gradual progression. So as you're making progress, there's something also regressing that's becoming less at the same time. And when you move like that with everything that you try to do, like anytime that you're trying to learn something, when you do it that way, it amplifies your learning process. That's how some people learn how to do things faster than others, because they've mastered that process. They've learned how to do that process very well. It's crazy. I don't even know how we end up talking about this type of shit, but what up, Calvin? Abdul said, what was the question again? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I forgot. I think it has something to do with anxiety. Joshua said, I can feel, man, my anxiety struggling to breathe. In the form of frustration with the market not giving the MRMH. Yes. Yes, sir. That's what I'm getting at right there. And that's why I asked that, because I'm like, all right, let me just let me get a feel for like what people actually are going through. Let me see how they feel about what's happening right now. So I'm looking at the chart. We all looking at the chart right now. 1 minute you see it slowing down. Next minute you see some just like a, and it makes you have a reaction. You have a reaction. You're like, damn, man. This market. I wish this market would do, was set up. Wish we could get an MRMH. I'm sure that many of you are saying that to yourself. You're like, I want to see an MRMH. Now, look at what we're doing right now. Since we've been on here, we've been talking about all type of stuff. We've been talking about movies, talking about stuff that don't have nothing to do with the market at all. And mind you, like, we're still watching the market like out the corner of our eye, like, you know what I'm saying? So you see how the time, and I had talked about this on training. You give value to your time by not giving too much value to the time that you spend in the waiting period. Like, don't put too much emphasis on the fact that you're waiting. Put more emphasis on the fact that you're not losing anything. And you know that your waiting is going to be rewarded at some point. Like, I cannot reiterate that enough. It's so powerful. And that's how you get to fight anxiety, because it's like, well, if that's the case, then all you really got to do is just be cool. Like, who cares what the market is doing, actually? When you look at it, it's either going to get in position or it ain't. Either way, you be cool. In either situation, you relax. Yeah, that's really good, though. I like how Joshua said that. He said, I feel my anxiety struggling to breathe. Suffocating it, man. Rhonda said, kids are like that. They learn so fast. Yes. Yes, kids are like that. And see, kids are like that. And that's why the way that you guide them and the way that you direct them is important. Because they already possess the ability to do that. They can channel and they can focus and utilize that process that I was talking about, where you can introduce more than one thing at the same time, like, or not even introducing more than one thing, but you're introducing something while removing something simultaneously. And children do have that. They have that naturally. That's why when you're younger, the foundation of what you're learning is important. I mean, just look at how kids are like in school. The way that kids are now is like, are they smarter than we were? Like, I ask that question now. I'll be like, I wasn't learning this right here that you learned it when I was in school at this age at all. And you know this? And it's almost like they're complicating the curriculum and what they're teaching. And it's like, why are you intentionally making it more difficult for these kids at the ages that they're at? Like my daughter's 7, and the stuff that she does now in the 2nd grade, I'm like, I know I wasn't doing none of this until I was like in 4th or 5th grade. She's in the 2nd grade. But she handles it. And I'm like, wow. So I wonder, I'm like, well, are they smarter than we were? Then I'm like, well, let's define what's smarter. Like, what does that even mean? If I say, he's smarter than him, what am I saying? Like, what am I actually saying? Because I believe that this has more to do with processes than it does to do with the capacity of the individual that we're talking about. Like, is his brain more functional than his brain? Is that what we're dealing with? Like, is it physical? Or are we dealing with the processes through which they are learning things? And then that makes you realize, it's the process that has a lot more to do with stuff. than the capacity. It's like software and hardware. It's identical, as a matter of fact. Rhonda said, because they don't have prior knowledge to compete with. See that? That's true. That is true. They haven't been polluted. That's one way to look at it, right? The less pollution you have, the easier it is for the process to function properly. Because you don't have to keep pushing out in order to put in. There's space. Just put it in and it'll go in and stay there. Abdul said, I sit back and watch and wait for the trade I'm looking for. Meanwhile, all the trades I'm not taking but observing re-emphasizes why I should keep waiting. That's crazy right there. That's crazy what he just said. Sit back and watch and wait for the trade I'm looking for. Meanwhile, all the trades I'm not taking but observing re-emphasizes why I should keep waiting. That's hard. That's hard right there. Rhonda said, my baby can read. Proves that the brain can learn with repetition. Seeing it over and over. That's what it is. You see, so again, we're back to processes. So when you compare us to them now, what it is that's different is that it's a different process now that's going on with them. It's an accelerated process. If we were taught the same way, I believe that it would be the same thing that it is with them. That's just me. And I believe that it doesn't matter how far back you go, even before our generations, even before us. The reason that people were not educated is because they were not educated. It's not that they were stupid and could not be educated. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like when you look at somebody, be like, nah, he ignorant. Well, ignorance is not always something that is self-imposed. What if information is being held back from that individual or from that group of individuals? If information that's valuable and that is able to elevate the thinking and the creativity and all of that stuff that goes on in the human being, if that's being held back from a group, then naturally what's going to be the result of that? What you see. Ignorance, right? So it always comes back to process. It's always process. It ain't nothing else. And it's like as time goes by and we just look at all of this stuff, we just start to realize that more and more. It's like the reason that people experience what they experience in life in general is because of processes. In general. So why would it be any different for what we're doing with the market? It's the same shit. It's literally the same thing. So Joshua said, how you process and apply what you know. Yep. It's amazing stuff, man. It really is. The more you think about it, it's like, damn. It comes clearer and clearer. Rhonda said, imagine if we didn't have the internet. How many of us would not have the proper training and information? We already know. And see, that right there is why I believe like our group, our age group, because we're in between. We represent the group and the time that was in between no internet and now there's internet. Like we knew what it was like without the internet, and now it's obvious what it's like with the internet, and we were in between during the transition. So we've been exposed to so much. It's like this shit is amazing what happened. And it gives you a glimpse into what's to come, because you can already see that everything that happens is within an evolutionary process. It's not anything that you can stop. Like regardless of whether you like social media or not, nobody cares if you like it. Like I realized that when, like for years, I wasn't on Facebook. I got on Facebook in 2014. So that's what, 5 years? So literally, I've only been on social media for like 5 years. But now at this point, I've actually just learned about what it really is. And I'm like, social media is just another name for the internet. And the internet is something that can't be stopped. Like it's something that is so powerful and so fast. It is interconnecting people, and it's making the world smaller now. It's making the whole world smaller. World is humongous. Think about how big the world is just in general. But now look at how small it becomes because of the internet. Look at us right now on this live. Everybody that's on here now is from somewhere in the country. Sometimes people be on here from another country, another continent. There have been people on YouTube Live with us that were like in Africa, Europe, Australia. Look at what the internet is doing. It's connecting and making the world smaller. So when we're together, you don't even realize. You're like, damn, where'd you say you was from? You start having conversations with people and be like, damn, like you from a whole nother part of the world. And you here right here talking to us. That shit is crazy. It's crazy, man. Roland said it can connect you to people you never met. Yo, he hit it right on the head. I want y'all to realize something, right? Look how crazy this is. Like, look how crazy this is. Everybody on here, right? And people that have been training like for like a year now. None of us ever met. You realize how crazy that is? We built a whole community. Like we're a group. Everybody knows everybody. Like, or everyone who's active kind of knows everybody. Like I could just run off names that just the people that are a constant that I see every day. Never met nobody physically. Yeah. Like that is mesmerizing to me. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Paley said, guess where I'm from? You saying that you probably from New York somewhere. Where you from? Yeah, but the internet is insane, man. Like it really is crazy. Samir, what's up, man? Sorry for not being able to connect. Don't have Facebook or any social media apart from email. Do you have an email? It's funny you're talking about social media and I'm not on it. You just like how I was a few years ago, man. See, Abdul is in South Africa. See what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, man. Paley's is bullshit. He's talking about he from Egypt. He said, nah, you from the D? All right, cool. Michigan. You from 8 Mile. I'm gonna hit you with a New York question that somebody would hit me with. You said you from Detroit. Do you know Dwelle? That's like somebody asking me if I know Jay-Z. Come on, man. Like, no, I don't know Jay-Z. Oh, man. Like, you know Eminem? It's so stupid, right? That's so silly. Oh, man. It's interesting. Something else also that I thought about the other day. I was thinking about some people and like their environment, right? You know, there's some people that never left their environment. Like, what I mean is, there are literally people right now that live in New York City that have never been outside of their borough. Like I know dudes that's like from Queens and like in the Bronx. Never left Queens. And I'm like, that's just kind of crazy to me. You know, because we got a lot of public transportation in New York City. You got the subway, you got buses. So it's not like you can't move around. You can hop on the subway, and if you in Queens, you can go to Brooklyn, you can go to Manhattan, you can go to Lower Manhattan, take the ferry to Staten Island. Like, you can get everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's buses. So I'm like, damn, like you never been outside of your borough. That's kind of crazy to me. But again, it has to do with just the psychology and also the environment that somebody's in has a lot to do with the decisions that they make. Like, some people, you know, if you don't step outside of your environment, you won't even know that there's another world outside of where you live. Like, there's actually stuff to do. There are other people that are elsewhere. Like, you know, that's not, don't live where you live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So I was kind of thinking about that. And then I thought once again about the internet. And I'm like, well, the internet is kind of something also that for those people, it connects them to other people, because you may not even leave your house. You can be in your house all day. And if you on the internet, you connecting to whatever you want. Like, literally, there's a video for whatever you can even imagine. Like, you want to see another state, type in the state on YouTube. Like, go to YouTube and just type in video of Wisconsin. Type it in. And then what comes up is videos that show you what Wisconsin looks like. Now that that's in your feed on the YouTube server, now you get more videos that are recommended based on that. Like the technology is crazy. This is how YouTube works. This is how social media works. Whatever you typed in, now you're going to see a bunch of other videos that are related to whatever you typed in. And that's what is making up your feed. You're seeing the stuff that you're doing. That's why they call it artificial intelligence, because it is intelligent. It's like, well, I'm going to show you what you asked about. You put in a search for such and such and such. Okay, we're going to show you more of that. Well, why you keep showing me this? Because that's what you said that you wanted to see. Artificial intelligence. That's actually smart. Why would I not show you what you're interested in? Well, how you know I'm interested in it? Are you spying on me? No, you typed it into Google. Nobody's spying on you. You know what I'm saying? So like this is where like people get these perceptions about like Big Brother and spying and all that. Ain't nobody spying on you. Nobody cares about you like that to really care. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're doing something crazy. If you're doing something crazy, then yes, people are watching you. But if you're just a regular person, this is how technology works. You type some shit into Google, that's what pops up. Now Google has information regarding what you are interested in seeing. That's what it's going to continue to show to you. It ain't spying on you. It's going off of what you typed in. Something to think about. Something to think about. Abdul said in Johannesburg, they asked, do you know 50 Cent? I know, because 50 is heavy in South Africa, right? Yeah, he definitely is. Samir said, I've been absorbing your wise words. The most important words I've learned are time, market positioning, speed. I first didn't understand what you meant, but it's only now I clicked, and so important to these options. You can't trade like traditional Forex. Bingo. That's it. Yeah, there you go, Joshua. There you go. That's all that'll pop up. So AI can show me more. That is funny. Samir, you asked about an email, right? Here, I'm gonna give you my email address. You can send me. Samir, you got to get on social media though, man. Like, don't be scared of Facebook. You don't even got to use your actual information. Like, just make up a name, make up an alias for online, and then that'll be who you are online. But don't be scared of social media, man. It's okay. That's my email right there, Samir. See what this one right here look like. This 3171. Mm-hmm. That one is close. Oh, there it is. It's set up. It's set up. See if it holds. That one's set up. See what the behavior looking like. Let's see, Joshua. Oh, tell me something good. Uh-oh. 2, 1. Ah! Yeah. There it is, man. There it is. Joshua, I'll let you do the honors in the group chat. I'll let you do the honor. What time was that? The 3:20? Yep, that was it right there, bruh. I bet you Jay Carly come out of nowhere too. Watch Jay Carly come out with the eyeballs. Watch. All right. Permission granted. And what time is it? 3:20? All right, so we're gonna see what goes on. I see Jeffrey in there. Oh, Jeffrey is another one that he is on the no losses path. I don't know how long it's been now for him. If I had to guess, I would say like 5-6 months now with no losses. Jeffrey, he's another one. Yeah, talk your shit, Joshua. Talk your shit, man. You like that, huh, Rhonda? Abdul says, one of my classmates asked me in my first year here, what was your gangster name when you were in America? I said, what makes you think I was a gangster? He says, every black man is a gangster in America. Wow. So you took offense to that? Let me see. I said, what's your proof? He said, I played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Oh my goodness. Now I would be offended behind that shit. What? Grand Theft Auto? Wow. Okay. All right. Fair enough. You don't know what you don't know, right? That is hilarious. Wow. Yes, exactly. Remarkable. But you know what is interesting though? Like I know a lot of, and depending on the country that you're in, like I know that in, I want to say either China or Japan, one or the other, they don't allow their citizens to watch YouTube. Like they have their own regulated version of the YouTube platform. Oh, take a look at this one right here. Nope, not quite. That one was almost there. Nope. No. Almost, but no cigar. And it's probably still gonna hold and win, but nah, that wasn't it. See, my discipline won't even allow me to do certain things. Like I'm conditioned to not do it. I hope nobody was thirsty. We'll see if somebody was thirsty. If somebody posts, they was thirsty on that one. If you see somebody posted in the chat, you know that they was thirsty on that one. What was I saying just now though? Like in those countries, they have their own version of like YouTube that they regulate. Because the one thing about the internet is that it's difficult for governments to regulate the internet. They try to, but they can't. They can't. So media is the most powerful means of communicating an idea or information to a mass of people. It always has been. That's not new. Even before there was TV, the media existed. You know what I'm saying? Like the media has always been here. It's the method. It's the vehicle that's being used at the time to get information out to mass audiences all at once. Like so by the time radio came first. First it was radio, then TV came. You understand what I'm saying? TV came, then first it was black and white TV, then it got better, then it was color TV. Now it's all type of HD TV. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff continues to improve and get better as far as the technology, but as far as the means of communicating, that continues to go. The internet is the one thing that has happened so far that they can't stop. They can't stop it. It's breaking down barriers, even like in business and with politics and stuff like that, because no one can control the whole thing. It's controlled by human behavior. So it's whatever people want to do. People are determining what is going to be communicated on the internet, through the internet. And then and that's what's changing up the dynamic of how the world is. That's why I was saying that the world is getting smaller. And the smaller that the world gets, the more of the stereotypes and the misinformation can be broken down. If you're able to sit down and actually have a conversation with people that are culturally not like you, they might be from a totally different culture, a totally different environment, totally different part of the world. But because you can actually have a conversation, all of the stereotypes that they might have preconceived notions about, you're able to break them down because they're getting to know you as the person. You see what I'm saying? And it's breaking down the stereotype that they might have already fabricated as a result of media. Like the reason I'm even talking about this is because of what he was saying about the Grand Theft Auto shit. Like video games, there's like billions of people that play games. And in some places you can play games, but you don't have access to certain things on the internet because of where you live. They might restrict your access to information. So if you don't have valid information to go by, you're going to go by what perception is giving you. And that's what happens like in situations like that. Somebody playing a video game, because everyone that they see in the game looks a certain way. When you look that certain way, to them, you represent what they are in the game. Mind you, it's a video game though. You see what I'm saying? So it just goes to show you the way that, once again, we learn. The way we learn. And it's the processes. The processes either prevent you from learning or they keep you stuck with only specific information to have to deal with, because you don't have any other information that's relevant. So you stuck with the information that you got, and that's what you are utilizing. That's what you believe, because that's all the information that you have. You don't have no more information. There's nothing there to offset it. There's nothing there to suffocate it. See, yeah, this shit is crazy. You see how it all connects? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, speed coming back a little bit. He's like, I knew it was too good to be true. Riley is hilarious. The what's cool though about the speed right now is it's just speed for now. Like as long as it ain't nothing else, you know what I'm saying, messing around with shit. As long as it ain't nothing that's doing nothing extra, we be alright. Because the speed could just go back, and that cycle can just finish, and then it'll get right back to it. Or market just say, hey, you can all kiss my ass, and I'm doing this, which is what it does most of the time. But it's cool either way. It's all good. Max said, I tried to explain to a friend why you can't come from a Forex background and try to deploy the same tactics on NADEX. And he didn't get it, did he? They don't get it right away. I find that to be one of the consistent things that happen when people are introduced to NADEX through our perspective. If we catch people before somebody else catches them, when they start learning about NADEX, they'll be fine. Because somebody today hit me up and was asking me questions. He was somebody that was doing IML. Y'all know what that is, right? The MLM, the Forex MLM thing. So he was doing that, and I immediately sent him like the educational videos. The educational series is a playlist. It literally has 100 videos in it. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm gonna send you this playlist. Just start watching these videos. Just begin absorbing and listening to the information. And that's one way to save people a lot of headache from having to deal with all of the fluff outside of what we know. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's a lot of fluff. It's just a lot of nonsense that they be talking about. A lot of nonsense. It's almost like they be setting people. It's almost like they set people up for failing, but they make you feel like that's how you supposed to be doing it. Like I always felt like that. Always felt like that. I'm like, nah, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, in order for me to do that, it would have to make sense first. That don't make sense what you're telling me. Not for this. Like this is a binary. Why would that make sense? What does that have to do with being right about where the market ends? Like I don't understand that. I don't get it. After giving her an example of how the behavior on this platform is unique, she insisted I didn't know what I was talking about. That's about right. That's about right. Yeah, then and it's what I enjoy the most. I love being in the position to say I told you so. I like being in that spot, even though I don't say it. Like I never rub it in when people come after the fact, because they'll come back. I guarantee you, they're gonna go and do whatever they think that they are doing that's right. They're gonna have maybe a little bit of success first, and then they're gonna start losing. And when they start losing, they're gonna come back to you and they're gonna be like, "Oh, what was that thing you was talking about again?" And you're gonna be like, "Oh, I thought I didn't know what I was talking about." And then they'll be ready. They got to go through the pain first. For some people, they have to go through pain before they can experience the beauty of what we do. They're not even going to be able to appreciate what we do until they get smacked first. Like you got to get slapped up first for some people. Because you have to prove that what they're saying is not what it is. The only way to prove that is just leave them alone. Like, leave them alone. Let them go ahead. They're going to go, they're going to lose, and they'll be back. And then when they come back, then they'll be all right. Abdul said alligator strategy. Yeah. Right, exactly, Don. iMarket's live. Yes. Yes. Riley, 5-minute binaries are different than other types of trades. Absolutely. Binaries are a different instrument altogether. And it, to me, is the best instrument that you can trade because it's predetermined as far as what you're risking and what you're earning on your individual trade. That's one. Two, it's a simple decision. It's you're either right or you're wrong. So this now allows skill ultimately to be the determining factor, because now it comes down to whether or not you are skilled in the market itself. And that becomes the reason why you will be able to consistently win. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's so crazy with this. I'm going to win consistently because I understand the market better than you. That's why I'm going to smash you if you trade against me. Come on, man. It ain't nothing better than that. It ain't nothing but it's like the World Championship poker. You ever watch the World Championship, the World Series of poker, and like every year the same players be there? Or is it me? It's like every year it be the same players. There's one dude, he won the World Series for like years in a row. And it's like, well, is that luck? Hell no, it ain't luck. He learned that skill. He know how to play poker better than all of y'all. And some of y'all are very good, but he's better. He's better. He figured out all the nuances of doing that. And that's why he's going to win. Come on, man. So now for him, poker's not gambling. You see what I'm saying? Riley says some people enjoy suffering. They damn sure do. It's like they glutton for punishment. Max says she tried to say looking at the history would validate her reasoning. Like looking at the history of what? I don't even know what you're talking about now. Looking at what history? I get the kick out of when people think that they know more than you. I love that. I love it. I literally love that. Riley says someone told me they won't join because binaries are just a game of chance. Silliness. Don, NADEX does pay. I traded overseas brokers and I had trouble getting my money. Yo, tell people all the time on here, man. And I see, like, and I always put up the disclaimer that I'm not getting paid to talk about NADEX and promote them. I'm telling you about the platform that we're using that we have no issues with. We don't have no issues with drawing money. There's no issues with getting your money in your account. When you take trades, you got to understand what it is that you're dealing with on the platform. That's why education is so important. That's why we focus on education on Team Alliance. Like, what are we doing here? The whole Team Alliance platform is education. You here to learn how to use market skill on the NADEX platform and get paid consistently. That's it. NADEX is here. Not to say that NADEX is going to be around forever, but it's here. It's here now. They're using a business model that is very effective and it works excellent. And I'm sure that there are other groups or there's somebody that's watching what NADEX has done and is doing. And maybe there will be competition for them in the future. Another platform that's similar, that's set up with the same business model that comes along. Of course, this is the type of stuff that always goes on in business anyway. So I'm not going to be surprised if that's the case. But just like with anything else, I'm going to always be using whatever's the best available at the time. We don't need friction. We don't need issues with trying to get money when we make money. This is a business that we are creating for ourselves. As a business, you need things to work properly, efficiently, not just the skill aspect as far as being able to generate income, but the aspect of being able to have a solid platform that you can rely on in order to trade and execute your skill. Get your money out. You know, they handle everything very well. 1099 at the end of the year. Well, really at the beginning of the following year, you get it in February. 1099 shows you what you earned or what you lost. You use that for your taxes. Like it's, you know, it's regulated by the CFTC, the FCA, all these different government agencies that are monitoring companies that are in the investment world, including NADEX, and they make sure that they do what they're supposed to do as far as business practices. Come on, man. Like it's obvious. Abdul said, met a guy a few weeks back. He just knew he had all the answers talking about trading. This guy has a firm managing his funds. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, you got. Because unless you with like a reputable company that manages money, and if it's a fund, the returns that you earn, they're not going to really be what you thinking that they're going to be. Like, as far as funds go and you know, stuff like that goes, if you earn 20 to 25% for the year, you're doing wonderful. So anything that's promising you more than that is nah. They be lying. They be lying, man. They tried it, and at 2-minute mark, the market changed. 2 days max, you get paid. Yeah, you get your money within 48 hours. He said, I hit him with the one question. What's your stop loss? Him. What's that? Right. You just knew that he just had no clue. Should have asked him, have you ever heard of MRMH? Clown. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Yep, that is funny. What time is it? 3:45? All right, let me get up out of here, man. I love hanging out with you guys. I'll be at Starbucks a little later, too. Do a little recap. Still do that. I like to do that every Friday, so I'll make sure that I'll still do that. So I will check you guys out then. It's been a pleasure, as always. You guys have an awesome weekend. I'll see y'all at Starbucks later.